they're a big help to me. I from high school, I graduated and wasn't really sure what I wanted to do right out of high school, but finally settled on nursing. I graduated with my nursing diploma at the time and went to sick kids to work for 10 years. After I had Megan, I didn't want to be too far away from home, so I came back to Peterborough, and then I nursed in Peterborough for the next 19 years. And so most of my nursing was in emergency nursing, and then something happened, and it was time to leave nursing. So so that's kind of where we're at now. But the nursing has taught me a lot of, my nursing taught me a lot of multitasking and problem solving skills and all of those things that are crucial to, well, to life in general, really.
Yeah, it's such an important job, especially in the times that we're living in right now. We're ultra aware of how important our health professionals are, especially our nurses. Shout out to all the nurses and doctors out there that are keeping us strong and keeping us healthy through this pandemic.
I'm very proud of all of my colleagues that I worked with in the past that I know are still there on the front lines, and I know what a stressful time this has been for them, and I've heard from them, and I think that's why I'm very, 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 very much an advocate for all of the scientific facts and information that we're being given in the state that we're in right now. So yeah.
Yep.
Cheers to them. I think about them all the time.
I can only imagine what the last 4 months has been like in our local hospitals.
For sure.
And for the nurses and doctors that have families with young children, or they're caring for an elderly parent, like their personal needs as well, just can only imagine how stressful that is. So we're very grateful to them.
Yes.
So, you know, nursing and flowers, not a huge connection there. How did that happen? How did you decide flower shop, and how did that start for you? How did you get the ball rolling?
So as I mentioned earlier, this is always the toughest question that I get asked, and I don't really have a really good answer for it. I can just, it's funny though how after I opened the flower shop, how many nurses have approached me and said that's my dream job. Like how many nurses want to run a flower shop. So, but it wasn't ever a dream to me. I think it came out of, so my husband was diagnosed with Huntington's disease in January 2014, and I was still nursing then, and it was a very tough time emotionally for our family, and then working in Emerge was a very high stressful job, and I think I did it for a while, and then I felt like I was just kind of done. And I remember seeing my hairdresser's mother had owned the flower shop before me, and she'd shared the post that the building was for sale. And I remember seeing it, let's say January, and I saw it, but it meant nothing. But then about 3 months later, I saw it again, and I don't know, something clicked, and it just was like, there's no flower shop in Hastings, there's no flower shop in Norwood, there's no flower shop in Havelock, and there's, I just thought, that sounds like a great idea. I should have said maybe for someone else, but for some reason, it would be a brilliant idea for myself, because I have zero floral experience. I have zero business experience. But I did go and speak to a good friend. Lynn Hudson had Blooms and Blossoms in Havelock for years. It was a very successful shop. She was very well respected businesswoman, still is. And I spoke to her about it, and she gave me some tips and ideas, and talked with the family about it, and everybody was kind of supportive and excited, and And then it became the job of buying the building and fixing this beautiful building up, which I absolutely love the building. And then we just have learned as we go. And it was tough. It was tough, and a lot of long hours when we first opened. Um, but it was, my goal was that it would be a very family, involved thing. That my dream was my daughter would help me in the shop. My son, we had plans. We were going to dress him in a tuxedo for deliveries. And it was just going to be like, everyone would order flowers, because who doesn't want a handsome boy in a tuxedo showing up at your door? That quickly went by the wayside. We couldn't talk him into it, but we made a spot in the back for my husband to be here. And I just thought that we could all be together, because it does become very much about family, to me. But then that's all kind of piddled apart, and hasn't really worked out that way, with the exception of Megan. And she's my constant. She's here helping me all the time. And so we get along for the most part. But she makes my day, and she makes the business. She's an awesome person. So, and that's kind of where we're at. And we've been plunking along, and we've been able to hire another assistant with the flowers, which has taken a lot of the load off. And I'm not staying till 2 o'clock in the morning anymore. And yeah, it's getting better. It's improving.
Yeah, you're working out those first, not glitches, but like getting into the rhythm of things. Yeah, now almost 3 years in, and you've seen a couple wedding seasons, you've seen a couple prom seasons, you've done the Valentine's Day a couple times, all those very busy flower shop times of years.
Yeah, this past Mother's Day was like unbelievable. And I always compare it to nursing. And my nursing friends know that when we're busy at the hospital, when you're busy in Emerge, it's a life-threatening busy. You worry that somebody's going to get missed, somebody's going to get overlooked, or you can't get to them to look after them and take care of them, and you can't give the care you want to give, and that's a whole different kind of busy, stressful situation. I always say, flowers are not life or death. So we'll get to them when we get to them, and we'll get them done when we get them done, and we'll get them delivered when we get them delivered. But it all has to be put into perspective. So.
And this year has been probably a very different year. As you say, Mother's Day was really busy, but you had to kind of reconfigure how you do things, because people couldn't just pop in and chat with you and tell you what they would have liked for an arrangement. It was all over the phone, and
it was very different. Although I think most florists would agree with me. It was in many ways it was. We closed for a month and a half, and we reopened about 2 weeks before Mother's Day, because we knew everybody was going to want to send flowers or something to their moms. And the second we reopened, we never stopped. It was busy, but we were sending birthday gifts to men, grandpas and dads and stuff, and we were delivering things all over the place, and you could see that was something people really needed to do. The traffic in and out of the store, as much as we know I love to talk and visit, it was kind of nice to not have that distraction and just focus on the work and getting things out and being safe about it. So and especially with the busyness of Mother's Day, it was also nice to not have the in-store traffic. We joke that maybe next year we might just do that anyway, because you can there's usually so many orders and so many things to get done that, and quite a few people do love to just stop in and have a chat, and it takes away from trying to get the work done when you're really busy. But yeah. So it was different, but it's been different but we've still been busy, and we coped with curbside pickups and deliveries without much of a problem. It was fine.
Yeah, that's one of the nice transitions for Flower Shop, is that you are already used to doing call-in orders and you are already used to delivering.
For sure.
Like those are things that already were happening. So that would have been helpful. One shining bonus to this whole mess that we're in.
We've been so busy with Valentine's Day that, to be honest, like the shutdown for the initial pandemic was kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie, and that sounds bad, but it was kind of nice to just be able to take a break for a little while and slow down. So, and spend time at home. My husband loved it. The only one in the world that was not upset about the pandemic, because but anyway.
So now you mentioned that like you didn't really have a flower background of any sort. So where do you come up with ideas for your arrangements, or how do you put things together?
My daughter's laughing. I don't know how to answer that either. I mean, I love flowers, but I loved getting flowers, and I get flowers, and often they would come from Lynn's flower shop, and I'd be like, oh gosh, these are so beautiful. And I paid attention to the way they were arranged, and I think I just thought I could do that. I could do that. But so with trial and error, a few tips again, like I said, from Lynn, and just kind of going by eye. I mean, look online. I follow a lot of different flower shops online, and have a few favorites, and I love their work, and so you kind of take inspiration from those people as well. But it's all very. I like to say I've switched from we don't have a telefloral service. We don't have FTD, so we don't have your standard classic flower arrangements. They're very much kind of custom made, and everyone is different. So, and I like that. I like that there's not sort of a standard. Some people like the classic, arrangement, but we just fly by the seat of our pants, really.
Well, Megan is really creative, and she's an artistic person, and she obviously got that gene from somebody.
Right.
Is that you? Are you the artistic parent?
Yep, I never did the things that Megan does. Megan is like.
Prudence is nodding, like, yes, she is.
I've known Lynn for a long time, and I remember back in our hockey tournament days when we would do gift baskets for the tables. Lynn was our go-to. She arranged everything, and if we didn't know what we wanted to do with the basket, we set it in front of her, and she just created for us.
Wow. I mean, I've always liked, especially at Christmas time, I like the, Mom has her tree, and it's decorated the way Mom likes the tree. But the presents all have to be color coordinated underneath and done up nicely. And so I've kind of, in that sense, it's been there, but not like Megan. Megan has, she's creative and artistic. She can draw. She pretty much can do anything artistically. So and it's not one of the things that I would ever have listed as qualities that I have. So. Like when I was growing up, I never paid attention to whether I was creative or artistic or not. So this has actually been, we say it still quite often. I'll put an arrangement together and go, hey,
turn out that way.
There you go. It's still very, it's still a lot of learning. So.
Yeah, it sounds like it's still really fresh, and you still manage to surprise yourself, which is, I mean, that's a reason to do it.
Yeah. Well, and just even when we do something, like I'll say to myself afterwards, where did I come up with that idea? So I don't know. It's just something that is there. And
It's innate.
as I mentioned with the nursing, it's like that problem solving or multitasking or whatever. You're kind of, when things, when you run up against a wall and you have to try to figure out how to, so they want it to look like this, how can we make it look like this? So you're sort of, and as Lynn would say to me, it's called, you're kind of MacGyvering things to try to make things work. And so that's the fun part too. That's the creative side, and I do enjoy that.
Awesome. You said that there's some other flower shops that are inspiration for you. Anything else that you draw inspiration from in terms of flowers?
Flowers that she turns her head. I think well, my mom has always loved flowers, so she's probably, been an inspiration that way. She's always got beautiful gardens and beautiful flowers, and even now that the knees bother her, she can't get around as much as she used to. She's still working on her flower beds, and she's been known to have beautiful flowers. So I'm sure my mother has had a big part in my love for flowers. But I think my biggest inspiration, and it may sound hokey, but it's absolutely the truth, is my kids and my family. So, and it's just wanting to do well for them and be successful for them, and so that they're proud of mom. And I get emotional, but anyway.
Really loud.
But no, I just to be able to do something that makes them proud of mom is pretty all right.
How do you balance being mom and being a business owner? Like those things take a lot of time. How are you able to make it all work?
We mentioned before we come on the air, I know there are a lot of business women who have kids that are a lot younger than mine. So I'm not sure how they do that. Mine are older. My kids I took this on when Megan was 19 and Jack was 16. So they're pretty self-sufficient. I mentioned that I did, however, and when I was nursing, I was job sharing most of the time, or part-time, and so it was never a problem to get away to one of the kids' functions, a ball game, a soccer game, a hockey game, a play at school, whatever. I could always be there. I never missed anything. So when I took this on, then it all of a sudden became a little more difficult to do those things, and I truly wouldn't do anything different. I think, looking back now, as to the nursing career and then starting this. I tease people that I should have started this when I was younger, thinner, more fit, more energy. But I don't think I would have done anything differently, because I was able to spend a lot of time, with my kids, and I didn't miss a lot. And then I had to miss Jack's prom because I was working here. So that was a bummer, sorry. But so they are a big help. Obviously, as I said, Megan works here at the store, and Jack is helpful sometimes when we can I don't know if he'll watch this later, so I can say that, but he sometimes is a bit of a help, but at the same time, it's nice to know that he's around to help at home if Dad needs him as well. So, and that's the other nice thing, is we're 5 minutes from home. Throwing a sign up on the door to say, I'll be back in a minute, to run home and check on my hubby is not a big deal. So, but yeah, I don't even know if I got way off topic on your question or not there, but I think I did.
You did just fine. I think you covered it all. How do you balance family and business? It's not always easy, but you do. Family always comes first.
Yeah, they do. They do.
How we roll. So there's gonna be other women out there watching this. There's gonna be other maybe not right at the moment, but eventually, do you think you have any advice for young people, young moms, other women that might be looking to jump on a similar path, that might be wanting to start a business of their own?
Sorry, I didn't mean to chuckle. I was just thinking about the things I shouldn't say.
Want to encourage these young people, Lynn.
I mean, I think in any job, profession, career, gaining experience and knowledge about something before you take it on is really important. Asking a lot of questions, being able to volunteer somewhere is really important. And I say that from a nurse's perspective and also from a business owner's perspective. School is so important. Education is so important. And gratitude is very important. And a work ethic is very important. So I think, especially in this day and age, that sometimes it's easy to get caught up on the Facebook and YouTube. And I know sometimes I don't see my son's face for a while because he's, playing video games or whatever. But to put that down and just do a job, anything, housework, something, and staying in touch with the importance of working hard and being grateful for what you have and what's around you is very, very important. So I know we work hard when we're here and sometimes go home and slack off a little bit, but that's the downtime. But that's what I hope to instill in my kids, and I hope that that's what I would suggest to other people too, is just get the experience first. Jumping into this was probably not the smartest thing to do without a lot of careful thought, but we've hung in there. So I think, asking lots of questions. Don't ever think you know everything, because you don't ever know everything, and there's always something to learn. And but gratitude and respecting others' opinions is very important.
Yeah. And like in your case, it seemed like opportunity knocked and you jumped on it. And that's sometimes it's important to take a risk too.
It's kind of me. I'm kind of a very spontaneous think, speak, whatever, before I actually give a lot of thought to it. Not think. Speak, jump, think later, which is not always, is not good really sometimes. So, but things have worked out for us okay so far. So I look forward to the future.
Me too. I think our community, our little Asphodel-Norwood community, is very fortunate to have a family-oriented business like yours right downtown. Right now, I'm sure you all have seen the posters, and hopefully people watching have seen on Facebook and seen posters that the township is starting an initiative to get people to shop local. So if you can, pop into Lynn's and, pick up some flowers for a loved one or a local librarian, you could.
I love how you threw that one in there.
You could take your receipt then to the township office.
Yes.
And they will enter you in a draw to win a $100 gift card to a local business of your choice.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
We've had quite a few people doing that. Yes, I think you can just take a picture of your receipt or something.
Yes.
Okay, and just email it
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had quite a few taking advantage of that already. So I think I was so happy to see them do that. I think it's great for a lot of local businesses that really need the boost right now. So Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great initiative. So I hope everyone takes part, because you could win $100 to
Yeah.
spend
Yeah.
here locally, and there's lots of wonderful businesses to support. And you know, if you won $100 to Lynn's, you could buy something for a loved one, or you could buy something for yourself.
Yeah. Or Christmas. We're getting Christmas stuff in soon. So, you know, it's never too early to shop for Christmas. I don't know what the fall is going to look like for us. So, you know, you might.
You just you never you never know. Yeah, Halloween might be very different this year compared to other years.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so I do have a bonus question.
Yep.
And it's like a library bonus question. Do you know who is your favorite author, or what genre do you most enjoy reading?
So, I don't have a lot of time to read. I do love to read, and I used to read a lot more than I do now. My kids laugh at me because my favorite thing to read, and I think it's just because there's no brain work involved, but my favorite thing to read is like medieval romance type novels, because I don't know. I just kind of takes me back, and maybe it's the creative part. I don't know, the way to describe the buildings and everything else, is whatever. You know, and then there's a little bit of romance thrown in there.
You classify that as a historical fiction. Why not?
Absolutely.
Quiet. That's like, that's what it is.
Fiction.
I mean, I love John Grisham as well. I like Lisa Genova. If anybody's read any of her books, they can get kind of deep a little bit. But Lisa Genova is a neuro scientist, and she has written a few books. And one of her books is called Inside the O'Briens, and it's about a family dealing with Huntington's disease. So we've read it, and it's a good read. It's a tough read, but it's a good read for us. But she's written some other really interesting stories and educational stories, and she highlights. She's got one right now, not inside. I can't remember, but it's a family dealing with ALS, and so lots of interesting things that she writes about, and I do like her as well. So not all just romance and, you know, whatever, but
So you tend to go more for fiction than, yeah, same.
Yeah.
I don't pick up many nonfiction books.
no.
But I'm being forced to pick up a nonfiction book a little bit for book club this month. I don't know, Lynn, if you're part of our ANPL Mombrarians book club on Facebook.
I did join it, although I haven't had a chance to pick up any of the books yet, but I just kind of, you know.
Well, we're glad that we have
good.
your name on the list, and maybe one month we'll hit a book that really inspires you that you have to do it.
Pick up a nice romantic medieval thing.
Outlander. So this month we're reading a book that's like you're to choose a self-care or self-improvement type of book. I kind of flip-flopped on what I was going to read, but I finally just gave in. And years ago, a friend of mine, also a nurse, gave me Rachel Hollis's Girl Wash Your Face, and it's just been sitting on my shelf. I'd read the introduction or the first chapter, and then I was like, nah, because it's nonfiction and I have trouble with that. But I'm powering through. I'm now on like chapter 4. Girl Wash Your Face, and it's good. It is good. It's just not what I would normally pick up, but there you go. That's what book club is good for. It forces you to read the stuff that you wouldn't normally read.
And it just might not be the right time for it. You may read a little bit of it, and some of it will resonate, some of it won't, and you'll set it down, and 6 years down the road, you'll pick that book up and you'll be totally in love with it. That's right. Every book has the right time in your life.
That is very true. I hadn't thought of it that way, Prue, but that is very true. That it just might not be the right time and place. I haven't maybe found my right title quite yet.
So you put a post on yesterday about Brene Brown, and a quote from one of her books or something, and I thought, so then I did a little Google search and research, and I thought I might have to pick up one of her books.
Oh, you will love her. Like, she's just that, I don't know, she's just so matter of fact, but she's Southern, and that really comes across, like, she's a very strong Southern woman, and it really comes across I really love her podcasts or anything where I can hear her voice.
Right.
Because, yeah, she's pretty incredible.
That's what I should do. I should check out one of her podcasts.
Yeah.
So one of her TED Talks is on Netflix right now.
Yes.
I just noticed last night, and I watched the little preview. It looked really good. I think I'm gonna have to watch that one through.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it doesn't always have to be a book. It can be a podcast. It can be, it's whatever you want it to be.
Yes, and maybe that we need to open for this month in particular, where we're asking people to read a nonfiction selection. Maybe just open it right up and say, listen to a podcast or listen to a TED Talk, and consider yourself self-aware, self-improved, and self-caring. So I think that's all we really have for today. I did want to mention that Summer Reading Club has started. We had our launch last week. If you're interested in if you have a child that is interested in participating in Summer Reading Club and you have yet to register, please feel free to send me an email at kvanleuven@antownship.ca, because I'd be happy to get you set up so that you can join us. This week, we are talking about mindful games, and we have a special guest who has submitted a video specific to our group, and the coach of the Lakers, and I'm Josh.
No, he's a trainer, Josh Martin. He's a trainer. He's the head trainer for the Peterborough Lakers.
Nice.
And a father of 5, so you can just imagine.
I have so much admiration for these people with giant families. I just don't know how to do it.
He had shared his video with us, and the kids will see it this week, but I really did laugh when he started with, that he was a father of 5, and he had that look in his face, and he's like, yes, I know, 5. And I thought, oh my God, that's exactly how I do it too when I say I have 4, because you do get those weird looks, and so I just had to laugh when he said it, because I could totally relate to him.
It's
admiration.
It is admiration. It's people that have that parent 1 or 2 and look at you like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you have more than 2. You've got 2 hands, 2 children. That's as far as we can manage.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know how people do with more. I was struggling with 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had my hands full with 2.
Yeah.
I had my hands full with 2, but I still went on. All crazy.
I think everybody kind of wishes at some point in their life they were in a big family.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
So, especially when times are tough.
Yeah. Or you marry somebody that has a lot of siblings.
For sure.
All right, ladies. Well, we're going to maybe let everyone go on with the rest of their day. Thank you so much, Lynn, for joining us and sharing your story. I tell you, we're really fortunate in Asphodel-Norwood. We have a lot of strong women that are business owners and influencers and role models for the younger women that live here. So, and you're one of them. So thank you so much for coming on and being a part of our little Mombrarian show.
Thank you so much for asking me, and it was fun, and I'm honored. If anybody considers me to be that, then I'm honored, and then thank you for having me.
Well, we will see everybody again next week. We will be back on Monday morning, same-ish time. You know how we roll. Around 10. 9:30, 10. You'll find us. Yeah, so, feel free to watch again. Tell a friend. Comment when we're here. Comment after we're gone. And we'll get back to you.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.